We are appreciating the efforts that have been done by the people who are in the struggle of ensuring that we have an act, a legal framework that will help us to engage public benefit organizations and the government and other stakeholders to make sure that we help the country move forward. We are also thanking those and appreciating the efforts that have been done by those who have been lobbying day and night to ensure that it commences. We cannot keep quiet. We take notice of that. And having said that, the second point I would want to highlight is that with the commencement of the PBO Act, it now technically shifts the ground of implementation to the counties, because it's in the counties where all the activities happen, where real assistance on the ground is needed. So now the Council of Governors is now becoming a great stakeholder in this activity of implementing the PBO Act and also the Devolution Department. So we now having the Council of Governors, the Department on Devolution, and the PBOs as key partners in the effective implementation and execution of the responsibilities of the PBO Act. We also want to note something regarding the PBO Act. We notice it's a good law, but it's also failing to recognize societies and community-based organizations as stakeholders in helping people in the community. So one of the key amendments we will be wanting to do regarding the PBO Act is recognition of societies and community-based organizations as part of public benefit organizations. We also want to highlight a few things regarding the commencement of the PBO Act. Somebody will be asking, what are the real benefits of the PBO Act? The first key benefit of the PBO Act is that self-regulation will remove victimization. We've been having civil society organizations being victimized on the assumption that they are fighting the government. But because of the PBO Act, we'll have that self-regulation will remove that victimization. Point two, the commencement of the PBO Act now gives effect to Article 36, which talks about the right, freedom of association and forming an association. It's now becoming real. So it's a great privilege to the citizens of this country that with the commencement of the PBO Act, they now have that freedom in reality to form associations and to associate. The other key benefit that is coming with the commencement of the PBO Act, it's now opening avenues for people of goodwill, people who are passionate in solving problems within the community. We understand the government cannot handle all the problems. The public and the private sector alone cannot handle all the challenges in this country. So we have the third sector, which is the civil society movement, coming in to fill the gap of all those things that the government and the private sector cannot handle. So with the commencement of the PBO Act, we now have that avenue being open and giving a clarity on how other stakeholders can come on board and handle and help participate in sustainable development. The other benefit that is coming with the operationalization of this act is that there is now opening a space for civic education. Our citizens in this country need to understand what their rights are. They need to understand what their responsibilities are, because freedom comes also with responsibility. Most citizens do not understand how to engage with the government, how to engage with other citizens, what exactly their role is. And we understand the 2010 Constitution gives sovereign power to the citizens, but we have not grasped the real meaning of using our sovereign power to change our lives and to transform how governance is done. Through civic education, we need to eradicate this menace of tokenism in our country, because it's the root cause of all the problems we are having. Citizens need to be engaged, need to be educated on their responsibilities in governance, on their responsibilities in ensuring that we have a conducive environment to have an enabling environment for good living. We should not leave that responsibility to the government, so that every time you are blaming the government for this, blaming the government for that, when it's actually our responsibility to ensure that we do all that is necessary to ensure that we have the life that we need. So civic education will change the attitude. Commencement of the PBO Act will ensure that we change the attitude from that negative attitude of citizens who are detached from how the government runs to citizens who are now fully participating in governance and ensuring that we reprogram that negative attitude. There is also the other benefit that comes with the commencement of the PBO Act, the capacity building of either individuals and organizations to handle matters in the society. There is the last part, which is advocacy and policy shaping.